All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. So we're going to get back to those in a second. I'm just going to show you something else. I know the light's not the best down here, but I got two new traps in today. I'm still waiting for the trap holders. They didn't come in with the shipment, but I got that. Two 330s. And I got, there's some dogs, which is that part right there. And I got some triggers. Whoop, step on stuff here. Some bunch of triggers. And that's these two dadders right here. Right there. That thing. Those. Some of these traps need refurbishing. So that gives me a total of 8 330 conibears. I already got 2 out in the field. I got 2 280s, 4 160s, and a cute little 110. And then I've got, well, we'll get back to those. Now I'll show you that separate. What I got here is just an arraignment of legal and non-legal traps for Quebec here. This is my wolf offset jaws. You can see it's offset. And this is also a coyote soft jawed trap. It's got basically rubber on the jaws. These, you can rubberize them or do like cutaway like that and make them legal again. But this is just a small little Victor trap. And then this little cute little guy right here, I believe is a 1.5. This is my very first trap that I ever bought when I was about 9 or something. It still works pretty good too. This one will need a new trigger, because this trigger is like, it was always a bit short, even from, I guess, when they made it. And the pano, I found, always sat up way too high to engage it. The coyote trap, I think, worked perfectly. I'll have to reset them. Yeah, see, the coyote one, the trigger in the pan is almost perfect. So the pan's a little high, but pretty close. I find they don't make these quite long enough. You're almost better to have put on your own and then really adjust it the way you want. But that's a wolf trap. That's a number 4. Can't read the plate. It's a number 4, I think. And this would be coyote 3.5. So you can see there's a sizable difference, hand for comparison. And hand for comparison. And in some later videos, I'll show you pictures of it with my hand in it there. I had the glove on. Just to show you, like, these are restraining traps. They're not designed to damage. And on the bottom of them, you have swivels. The swivel allows the animal to go in circles as many times as he wants. These older traps do not have that swivel. And, well, this one has a swivel, so it's partially legal, but it's not soft jawed. You can use these, however, in drowning sets, which I don't really like. I prefer just using the conibears. And then, of course, this weird thing that you're looking at here is a Belial, probably the most humane foot trap ever built by Belial. It's a foot snare. The idea is that when this springs, basically the trap is really almost designed just to scare the animal, so when they pull away, that this snare zips up on them and the trap falls away. The problem is I've never really ever figured out how to properly set the snare in there. It goes in something like that. I will do another video. I said it one time. I made a video on my old channel, and when I did, the actual owner of the company said, no, you're doing it wrong. Here's what you need to do. He says, you're close, but not quite. And I almost want to talk to him again, because they do make great products, the Belial products. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but they do make some really nice stuff. This is kind of like your ultimate catch and release thing. Now, the only downside to this is that the trap falls away and you have to find a way to get the snare off the animal without the animal chewing you to death. So the animal will be held in there. So if you're using these, you check your traps every night or every day, that type of thing. And if there's an animal in there, you take them out right away. You don't leave them in there long periods of time. With this, you still want to check every day, but it's a little bit more comfortable than the the jaws for an animal. All 3 traps most of the time will not leave injuries. This is almost impossible to leave injury. Not impossible, but almost impossible. So again, the most humane you can get, where these guys, as long as you got a good capture, the animal will have a sore and numb foot for maybe a day or so, or a couple hours after you let them go. I did, however, catch a fox in this trap, both feet, and I caught him that morning probably. So the only damage he had, like, I had to dispatch him, but the only like, he didn't have any broken legs or anything. He had both paws in there, and the only thing that he had was cold feet. That's it. And this is this is a big trap. That's a very strong trap that'll hold a wolf. So it gives you an idea of how the traps are. So there's a lot of information out there that's misinformation of how these traps work. Now, years ago, these traps, when they weren't swiveling, would cut into the legs of an animal, which would be a very, it'd be an injury where you'd have to dispatch the animal. So if you caught something you were trying to catch and release, these weren't the best. That's why we don't use those anymore. We use soft jawed and offset jawed. I think you can get hybrids. I haven't seen them yet where you can get the soft jawed. I think that would be just one more layer of making it, less on the animal, is to have rubberized this. You can do it. The only thing I ever heard is that if you have an offset jaw and with the rubber, sometimes the animal can actually pull himself out of there. And you don't want them snagging toes, because this will hold them, like their paw is going to be down here. So it's kind of like holding them by the wrist, and that's the best spot for them. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd show you those and show you some of my new brand dandy new traps. And, these are still, fresh out of the smelter, so to speak, and a bit sooty and a bit dirty and a bit oily, so I will have to clean them off. And then this is a seasoned trap that's been waxed and dyed, rusted, waxed and dyed. And where's my... Yeah, see, this one definitely needs a new trigger, so maybe I'll start with that one to fix it up. And yeah. A little note, when you do get new 330 conibears bears, just understand these springs are tensioned to about 150 pounds. So they can be a little bit finicky to set for the first little bit. Never trust a trap. Treat it like a rifle, like it's always trying to get you. The only thing I find with these guys is maybe set them and leave them for a little bit, and set them before you take them out to the field, because sometimes they can be a real hassle the first few settings. It take, the springs are pretty high tension. So yeah, there we go. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do next. But yeah, we're getting closer, guys.